He was like, "Oh, I can already tell that you are bitch."
You don't even know sometimes what might trigger people. It could be your personality, your beauty together, because you're like the full package.
Instead of going to your own level, if they see that you're higher, they try to bring you down, whether it's man or woman.
Yes.
It's just gonna happen no matter what.
They know what triggers women. Our beauty, our weights. I mean, it's not that difficult. Our age, that's what trigger us.
Yeah.
So usually beauty or your strength is what they go and attack.
Sometimes they also give you a backhanded compliments like,
Yes.
"Oh, you're pretty, but this dress doesn't suit you."
We're not talking about the divine masculine men, okay? The ones that are like emotionally mature and so on and so forth. We are talking about the ones that are still working on themselves. They're not really there. They're not yield, whatever, they got issues. To those ones, they are trying to bring women down because they see them maybe as a possession, or like they try to control.
For someone to go out of their way to put a nasty comment, like, does it make you feel better?
Encounter this kind of men that are frustrated, trying to take you down a notch or two.
Have you ever noticed also, if you're attractive and you like want to better yourself, you're hustler, it's also perceived like, oh, you're too materialistic. People who speak about you behind your back are behind you for a reason, right? There is an urge for them to be with a higher prime alpha women. If they can't get it, they get really upset, because that's the way for them to also raise their status in the society. And then if the woman is not paying any interest in them, that's like where the causes frustration.
Someone who cannot control their instinct as a man, it says a lot about the man. Men that have done the work, they are very disciplined and also know how to control their mind. Because your mind or your pity down there, it doesn't control them. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Vivi, aka the Mother Barbie. Today I have a very special guest, which is my very good friend Margot. I'm so happy to have you here. If you follow me on my other social media such as Instagram, TikTok, you probably saw her already. Margot is a model, content creator. She's amazing and I love her so much, and I'm so happy that she's finally on my channel here as a guest, and hopefully you will see more and more of her. We've been friends for a while, so I thought which best than my friend to bring on my channel.
Well, cheers
Girls.
for doing this.
I just want to say I will put Margot's social medias down below so that you can go and follow her. So we were thinking about the topics that we wanted to touch and what you might like or dislike. We were thinking about, Margot, you wanted to say?
Try to humble women or pretty women.
Perfect.
I think that's kind of interesting topic that probably happened to many of us, and maybe all women at some point as well. So it's definitely relevant.
Not just men, by the way. They feel like they want to humble you if you're pretty, or if you have success, or if you have a social media presence, or you have something going on for yourself, or a light that shines brighter. Most people are automatically defensive, I guess. It's not only men, but we're like talking about men specifically because it's a relationship channel, but I feel like it's also women, and in general, people are insecure. Like, you were mentioning this also before.
Well, I definitely think that that's a thing, and I think there's not with everyone happens, but it happens with some toxic people around for sure, and toxic men. I think the reason why they do that is because they want to kind of like lower your value and devalue you, whether it's in your own eyes or even in their own eyes, because they can't handle how good you are. Some people would rather bring you down to their level than level themselves up to yours. And it can happen with men and women. Instead of going to your own level, if they see that you're higher, they try to bring you down, whether it's man or woman. It's just gonna happen no matter what, I think.
Yes, and I agree with you, because some people just, they see in you something that is threatening, something that is like unknown. You don't even know sometimes what might trigger people. It could be your personality, your beauty, all together, because you're like the full package. People expect from you that you're like automatically arrogant when you're pretty, or like you must be somebody that has a lot of partners or a lot of attention. But the reality is that when you are pretty, and Margot might agree or not or disagree, but my opinion is like a lot of people are intimidated and also feel like you are vain, maybe a narcissist, like narcissistic, very vain, and you'll see them even like talking to you, having like a strange face, and you don't understand why.
Yes.
And you feel like, I don't know, I think I'm pretty nice, and then I've been like very welcoming, and then they have like this straight face.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, for sure. And I think they sometimes they like get defensive immediately, right from the first start. Sometimes, yes, for sure.
And you don't even know sometimes what could have triggered them, because I feel like there are the stupidest thing, the most idiotic thing that triggers someone, and you don't even know why. And then if you are like especially very nice, you know, like not only you're beautiful, you're nice, such as you, Margot, like people think, oh my gosh, like they hate you just because you're maybe too perfect in their eyes. They don't see you as a human being, they see you as a threat, because I feel inferior in the presence of this person. Not considering that, oh my god, like,
yes,
we all have flaws, and not everybody has the same type. Beauty is subjective, everyone has their own preferences. Like, I cannot be liked by everybody. Like, there are some people that prefer black women, or like prefer like brunettes, or bigger, thinner, taller, with more curves. Like, so I'm like, this is so stupid to me, because what this person feel might be perceived differently from someone else.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. It just shows that he recognizes that you have a value in his eyes. Maybe he understands it or he doesn't understand it subconsciously, but that's just another. If it triggers, you know, that means that he recognizes the value.
Exactly. Most of the time, men that feel intimidated or they try to humble you, there is insecurity behind it. They feel inferior, so that means those men are not really working on themselves, but they're working on like manipulations, like games. Like, so instead of like working on how to become a better man, like you said before, very good awarded, like instead of like raise themselves to your level, they just try to bring you down. We see that on modern dating a lot, because there is insecurity behind it. Just simply do the work, like, and understanding why do they feel so insignificant. It could be number of things that they need to work on.
I think also another point that we are biologically, we're hierarchical creatures, and I'm not saying like, thank god we, you know, also spiritual. There's a spiritual part of us, there's you know, kindness in us and empathy, but those are the signs of developed human evolutionally, right? But like the way we were initially created is that we're very hierarchical, and I think guys are trying to also level up by being subconsciously, there is an urge for them to be with a higher, like, you know, prime alpha women, and they if they can't get it, they get really upset, because that's the way for them to also raise their status in the eyes of their you know, friends or in the society. If they see, you know, if they can be with a high level woman, and then if the woman is not paying any interest in them, that's like where the causes frustration.
Let's just say, Margot, that you do have interest in this man, but this man, you notice that is acting funny on a energetic level. You're very intuitive, you might not know that this person like you, but there is some strange thing that the person might do that make you feel like, oh, this guy is insecure. Has ever happened to you that you saw some games from men or things like that?
Yes. Well, I mean, I think when the guys start playing games with you, that's the definition of insecurity.
Yes.
Sometimes they also give you a backhanded compliments, like, oh, you know, you're pretty, but you know, this dress doesn't suit you, or you know, have you ever thought of like change your color? Your hair is so beautiful, but have you ever thought of like keeping it curly, or you know, changing it somehow?
Yes. So exactly, and I feel like for me, like, we know because we talk about it, like about our personal stuff. For me, an example could be that the guy wouldn't like any of my photos on Instagram, which I don't care about Instagram that much. Like, I'm not insecure about you have to go and like my photos, but you know when it's something is strange. Like, one thing, if you are not like, if you're not on social medias at all, but if I see that you are watching everything, you're not liking anything, or you don't compliment me at all, that to me is like, okay, that's weird, because we established that we're dating, right? But you're not liking any of my pictures, but then you go and like someone else's photo that is like maybe a girl that is not even that attractive, or maybe a friend of mine. Like, this is, to me, is the utmost insecurity in the man, like when they try to make you jealous maybe, or triangulate you, and this is so disgusting. It's a turn off for me.
Yeah.
But I noticed that, like, when a man feels like he's not good enough, he will even sometimes tell you, like, I feel like sometimes like he will do something like that, I mean, in my experience, or he will sometimes straight up tell you, oh, I'm not good enough, what you like about me, or just like you can feel it.
Yeah, that's super weird and toxic. Him telling you that he's not good enough for you. He probably wants to hear. He doesn't know himself, but so he wants to hear it from coming from you. Like, he doesn't believe that you can like him.
It's like, oh, what do you like? Yes, because they start to kind of like, maybe they feel, so there are different kinds, of course. Some like will play games, and some they'll be more open about it. They tell you, but it's still like will ruin the relationships eventually. The relationship eventually. So, how do you feel like men humbling online? Because we know, like, we get some men here. They're man by word only, not by some, not all. I'm sure you are on TikTok. We are live on TikTok too. All of you guys watching are amazing, but there are some, like, normally, like, if you put yourself out there on as a content creator, influencer, like YouTuber, if you put yourself out there, you're a public figure, you will have some haters or trolls, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
And those that like make comments and sometimes not very nice. Yeah.
That, like, I never understand. Like, I don't even know if I ever did any negative comments for someone. Like, maybe, you know, the most I can do if someone is wrong, factually wrong on internet, and I just comment something that I don't think it's correct. But like, it's just like to go out of it. I never understood for someone to go out of their way to put a nasty comment. Like, does it make you feel better? And it doesn't bother me, I guess, anymore, because I think it bothers you a little bit, and it's going to, but
Yeah.
overall it doesn't really, because I know that it's just
Confidence is the key, right? I feel like we should say this because some women out there, they encounter this kind of men that are frustrated. They have like some self frustration, and they are usually trying to take you down a notch or two by highlighting some, they know what triggers women. Our beauty, our weight, I mean, it's not that difficult. Our age, that's what trigger us.
Yeah.
So usually beauty is what, or your strength is what they go and attack. I noticed those insecure men, those losers, I shall say. So yeah, I just want to say not to believe, those kind of people, and surround yourself like by amazing girlfriends, supportive girlfriends, like Margot is like for me. And so, you guys have to believe in yourself, or like at least be confident.
Yeah, and also it's just different people have different intentions and different reasons why they chose. Maybe, I don't know, he broke up with his wife and now he hates all the women, and he decided to put it all onto your video that just showed up.
Yeah.
I even had this, like, back in the days when I was trying dating apps. I had this guy that, without knowing me, he just, by my look, he saw my photos, and he was like, "Oh, I can already tell that you are such a," kind of like, no, he didn't call me a bitch. He was like something along those lines. You're
So rude.
entitled. You're so entitled. I can already tell how entitled you are. You have such a high ego. Blah blah blah. You're narcissistic. And I haven't said a word to a person, right?
Good.
So it was all, he just said it all based on my looks, my pictures, my profile, right? So, and what, what I replied, I'm like, "I'm so sorry. It seems like you really hurt, someone really hurt you. I don't know what happened in your life that you, like, hate all the women this
Of
much.
course.
But I'm sorry, and I hope you good luck."
Of course.
And like, and then that triggered him, and he's like, "You know what? I actually, you're actually right. Like, someone really broke my heart. and I'm trying to get over with it, and I'm sorry that I said that to you. I was not in a good place. Well, at least he admitted it.
Yeah. I have to say that men do try to humble usually women. So some insecure, we're not talking about the divine masculine man, okay? The ones that are like emotionally mature and so on and so forth. We are talking about the ones that are still working on themselves. They're not really there. They're not, yield, whatever, like they got issues. So those ones, they are trying to bring women down because they see them maybe as a possession, or like they try to control. First of all, society is already kind of humbling women in general. Like we are taught to be humble, not to ask for much. For example, even like if we want to have fluent partner, we're almost scared to admit or say it because society criticizes, like call us gold digger and why not. But there are double standards because on the other hand, the man, he's allowed to wanting like a beautiful woman for her beauty only. So I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, it's such a double standards because I also don't want a man that only wants me for my beauty or the looks or the physical appearance, that I feel like a piece of meat, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, why is it okay for them to wanting us only for our looks, gonna pick the ones that they like physically, and they're not gonna go for the one, and they openly talk about this also on social media. Nobody criticizes them, God forbid. But if we do want someone who is financially stable, which is the minimal requirement, honestly, because how am I able to build a family or with somebody that is lazy and I'm for broke or dusty? I'm not talking about the ones that are growing, like they have ambition and why not? They already are abundant, like a mindset that is more abundant. But if you're talking about the ones that are lazy, that's even worse. And everyone has different standards, for their lives. As long as they are happy, as women, we are happy. Like as long as the man is a provider and he's like showing that he wants to be better, to me that's already you putting into the universe, like you are trying to better yourself. Then like I said, some women accept certain things and some others don't, as long as it fits the woman's life well and she feels happy, because you can also have like a billionaire and he's like miserable, makes your life miserable. It's a cheap. So he's like broke in a sense.
I 100% agree with you. It's definitely a double standard. But also, what I noticed outside of them, like telling women that they are materialistic because they want affluent partner. Have you ever noticed also if you're attractive and you like want to better yourself and you want you're hustler, you getting clients, you talk about finances, you talk about money, you try, you go to business dinners, and it's also perceived like, oh, you're too materialistic.
Yes, yes,
If you build your business and you go, for example, recently I had a situation where I was taking
yes,
a girl from my industry out to dinner, and like, mm, my partner started telling me, oh, you're too materialistic because you're taking her out for dinner because you're hoping to, that she will give you a job. And like, all love to him, but like, in his head I'm like, wait a second, but
you
don't
do the
you do
same.
the same? Don't you
Right.
do the same? And like, for men it's allowed to
Yeah.
want to have money and a better life, but for women it's not.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time.
Everything. Also, social media is the worst because you see, like, if they see a woman that has like a nice lifestyle, like luxury, whatever, automatically the men, the ones that are not evolved or enlightened yet, they think automatically you must have somebody, or you are like a whole, that I cannot say that, with the H, you got it right, or you are like, doing some sort of things that are illegal, maybe, in the sense, you guys understand what I'm talking about, and that there is a man behind it. They never think that maybe it's you, because right now there are so many successful women, that they make their own money. They just want somebody financially stable because they want to match their energy, or somebody that gives them stability, because a woman just want to relax too. They want to be in the presence of a masculine man, right?
Yeah. So I'm saying there is definitely a double standard, and also like a woman perceived materialistic, even if she is a go-getter herself, and she like, it's for some reason it's convenient for
Yes.
men and for society to have women. Okay, everyone is okay with a woman working right now, but still they kind of like cannot accept that the woman can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
they still kind of like, oh, she's too materialistic. It's safer for their ego if she is doing 9 to 5, working in the office under other males that are
Yeah.
bosses, than if she is an entrepreneur and a go-getter herself. Like, I think there's a subtle discontent with this.
Very interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. And there is honestly still, this is a quality thing. I don't see it because I feel like a woman is judged in many ways
Hmm.
because, you know, like we still like very objectified by men, and that's like something I really have an issue with, being feeling objectified, like literally. And and I'm like seeing these comments, for example, sometimes, which I don't care, like there are trolls, whatever, it's part of the job also, I put myself on the stake for you guys, for helping you, right? I put myself out there, but I can handle that. But I just think, like, logically, come on, these men criticize, like call gold digger, whatever, just because I'm telling to have standards. Like, this should be the bare minimum. Like, this should be accepted. This should be open. Like, this double standards, because men that do the same, that they want a woman that is beautiful, they keep objectifying women all the time, just like for their, to have sex,
Hmm.
basically, right? Because like most of the time, I feel objectified with men, and that led to celibacy in a sense, because now I'm like, my body is my temple. Nowadays there is so much promiscuity. Whomever I allow into, my space, or just like my energy, has to be special, somehow special. So, and I think everybody should do that nowadays, because men are feeling like they go out and
Yeah.
just can get free, or I would say free isn't the right word, but easy cookie, because some of you ladies, not all, hopefully not you get that are watching, but you might don't know any better, and you just sleep with him without him putting any effort, which I don't think is a good thing. Now, this is my opinion. You do whatever you want, but nowadays there is so much freedom on that men just literally could say many things just to be your type for a second,
Hmm.
and just to get into your pants. Feel men come just because they want that at first, right?
Yeah.
Then of course there are some that want something serious. I'm not saying that there are not, but majority, they just try, and they objectify all the time. Like, especially if you're beautiful, like, you
Hmm.
gotta be careful, because you don't know if this man is really interested in you or to sleep with you
Yeah.
because of the beauty, right?
Yes, I actually just yesterday I was watching this psychologist opinion on YouTube also, and she was answering the question, when is a good time be intimate when you're
Yeah.
dating. She was covering the whole dating step by step, and like one of the
Mm-hmm.
questions was that, and like she basically said something that I really resonated with. Like, she basically said that your job is to get a sense of get connected on a human
Yes.
level. Who is this human? Not like, not only like superficial things,
Mm-hmm.
right, but also like get, sex should be the last intimate step
Yeah.
through your connection. So, and that cannot happen overnight, and that cannot
Mm-hmm.
happen fast.
Yeah.
Obviously everyone has different
Mm-hmm.
pace. It's going to happen faster or sooner with person than another, but overall, you require, every human requires time to get to know another,
Yeah.
and to get attached to a certain degree, and to get like intimate, because that should be ultimately, in an ideal world, like a final step of connection,
Yeah.
you know.
I agree. When you have somebody that is not desperate, because I feel like someone who cannot control their instinct as a man, it
Mm-hmm.
says a lot about the man, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, because it also shows that not only you feel invalidated too, because you feel like, okay, yeah, it's important, sex, it's important, it's very important, and is essential in a relationship, but some men, they are desperate, and usually entrepreneur man, or rich man, or men that have done the work, they are very disciplined, and also know how to control their mind, because your mind, or your
Yeah,
you
they know
understood.
how to control it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're pretty done there, got, you got what I'm trying to say. it doesn't control them. It's
Mhm.
they have control on over themselves.
Yeah.
So this is very important to me,
Mhm.
because it's like I can tell if you already having issue controlling, like you are like just going crazy. It's okay to being attracted, but if I put a boundary, especially at the beginning, and you cannot control or can't respect that, then we got a problem, because it shows me that if we're in a relationship, then later on down the line, that if you meet a girl, you're gonna cheat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Margot, you wanna add something for this specific topic before we wrap it up?
Just know, guys, I think my opinion that no matter men and women in general, people will try to humble you, and those are the toxic people and the people that cannot handle your success. Just always know that people who speak about you behind your back are behind you for a reason, right? So like,
Good.
yeah.
I love that, actually.
So, and people who are successful, they don't really have time to discuss you or look at you and look for your imperfections.
I agree.
So it just, I would even pay no regard to them and hope them the best. And one day, hopefully, those toxic trolls online or in real life, they'll find their healing, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, Margot. Actually, thank you so much for being on the channel. Guys, go follow her. I'm going to link everything down in the description box. So make sure you follow Margot. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.